Hey, this is Louis D. Fresh, bringing it to you on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm smiling because as soon as I open my mouth, the dogs are like, oh, something's going on. Anyway, as I mentioned, I'm sitting here because I want to go outside and show you what we're going to talk about. On the college portion of your YouTube channel, I mentioned we're going to start talking about trade schools and, particular avenues that you could take. Because as my volunteer school reminds me that college is not the only way to go after high school. So let's talk about trade school. Let's talk about the one thing here. I live in South Florida, as I mentioned in the last video about my fish, that I live near the equator type of thing, and live in a subtropical climate. It is very, very hot here. It's not just hot. I mean, I know places like Las Vegas, Phoenix, temperature-wise, they're hotter. And it's a dry heat. Even though it's hot, it's like fire, dare I say. I've never been there, so I don't know. But I hear it's like a steam bath. You go outside, it's literally like a steam bath. It's 90 to 95 every day this time of year. It's July 5th, and the humidity 80, 90%. And I'm trying to shoot this video before the evening storms, afternoon storms come, because that's just how it is. So air conditioning is necessary. That's what I'm trying to get at. Air conditioning, if you live in the Southeast, if you live in, again, Texas, anywhere around, the South, it's absolutely positively needed. Even up north, you may say, well, originally from New York City, yeah, you need it now, July, August, sometimes a little bit of September. Say you even live in Canada, you may say, well, you definitely need it in July. Refrigeration to store your meat, because we're talking about air conditioning and refrigeration. So this is a really, really hot topic, in my opinion, no pun intended. So air conditioning, that's why I want to hit this as number one thing when we're talking about trade schools. So the first thing I wanted to put in, how do you look up this stuff, is I literally put in, as you can see, air conditioner training, and that is a zip code I used to live in. I don't live in that zip code anymore, but more or less, if you do that, you'll see literally things come up, and I'll mention what that HVAC stands for in a minute. You'll see that there's definitely lots of training. Definitely, you see even places. I mean, for ignorant people like me, literally it says, okay, there's different avenues that you could take, air conditioning, what you can do. And there are definitely, you see air conditioning, refrigeration, and heating, which we'll talk about. You can even do that in the local community college. You can do these in technical schools, technology. Like we mentioned, these are trade schools that we're referring to. So, there are many different avenues that you could take. But what I'm going to focus on is not so much a particular school, but what you should be looking for as you're seeking your training for trade school in air conditioning, at what HVAC stands for, and in one more second. So this is how I would start out: air conditioner training 33176, or I just put that as in my old zip code, but in putting your zip code, and you will get a whole bunch of different things with air conditioning and refrigeration for you to take a look at. So as I was saying, it's really important that you kind of find some places close to home. And remember, with trade schools, they're a lot shorter than a community college and regular college. Usually it'll run you 6 months to a year, maybe even 2 at most, but it's quicker, it's more directed, it's more what you want to do, what you're focusing on. You're not taking a bunch of math, a bunch of English, a bunch of social studies. That's not what you're interested in. You go right to the trade, what you're thinking about. And again, if you live anywhere really, even though I say yes here in Miami, Florida-ish, there's many, everywhere really needs air conditioning at some point, and refrigeration always, in terms of your foods. So this is a really lucrative trade to get. So that's why I'm focusing it in on first. And to kill the suspense, HVAC or HVAC is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and that's kind of all connected, all central. And air conditioning, refrigeration, and what you should look for, what should you acquire in this training for air conditioners, because there, as I just showed you, there's many different avenues you could take, but what is it that will get you what you're looking for? What should you be looking for in air conditioning, refrigeration, and after you're done? This is what in my opinion, you should be looking for. As I was doing my research, because as I told you, I'm not a trade school kind of guy, so I was learning myself. You should really learn in whatever program you choose how to test instruments and troubleshoot. So kind of do a little check mark, your little troubleshooting. What is it that you need to kind of look for in an air conditioner? What is it that are things that normally break down, that normally need adjusting, modifications, and learn. Once you find that out in your training, you should be able to learn how to make those repairs. Long-lasting repairs, not like putting a Band-Aid on something, but long-lasting repairs, perhaps your blower, things that will make it last. And again, the preventative maintenance, as I will share with you, and I'll start now. I have a guy, he's my company. The company I use is called Freezing Point, and they're wonderful. And I have a contract with them every 6 months. They come out to preventatively check my air conditioner, and I really love them. I think they're fantastic because I do believe in preventative maintenance. And so that's what the things that in whatever program you choose for HVAC. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning, you should be able to know how to use the test instruments, know how to make repairs that will last, and how to prevent situations from breaking down. So just kind of like why you go to a doctor, why you go to a gym, why you diet, to be able to prevent bad things happening to your unit. Now, in my opinion, I think certification is of the utmost importance. Why I think it's of the utmost importance, that's why I want to turn around. Why I think it was the utmost importance is that because, for example, if you go to a doctor, you don't want to say, hey, this is Dr. Johnny. You don't want to hear them be called just Johnny. You want to see a certificate on their wall saying that they went to medical school X and gotten certification for this or that and the other thing, because it gives the person clout. It says, hey, I know what I'm doing. I studied. I got it. And so that's why I think with air conditioning, same thing. And with anything, you definitely want that certification, because you can say, yes, I learned from my dad, or I learned from my uncle, or yes, I learned from my aunt, or whatever. Yes, everything's great. There's nothing wrong with it. You probably learn more sometimes than you learn in these trade schools. I get it. But unless you got that certification, people are going to be skeptical about hiring you. So that's why I'm a big advocate on certification, and especially certification now with air conditioning, especially here in the Southeast. So certification that you should be looking for with your trade school is EPA, Environmental Protection Agency certification. That is a national thing, and here in the United States, I think it's important if you get a certification that you are EPA certified. So people are like, they're not only going to repair my air conditioning, but they're also going to be environmentally friendly. You also want to lead to HVAC. That's the technical, because I have to kind of look things up. I didn't know about these things. HVAC Excellent Technician certification. That will kind of give you definitely a clout saying, hey, I'm not just any regular guy off the street. I got the Excellent Technician certification. I know how to use these instruments. I know what's going on with your air conditioning or refrigeration. And last but not least, also should lead to NATE, North American Technician Excellence Certification. You notice here, and I found this on Canva, Canada, US, and Mexico. North America consists of those three countries, and even a bit of Alaska. You see it on the top left. I think it's really important, and you never know where life is going to lead you. You say, well, people are not going to need refrigeration or air conditioning, and yes, they will in Canada. And Mexico is like, I'm not going to move to Mexico. You may fall in love. The girl is Mexican. You want to move to Mexico, raise a family. You want to have your certification and bring it with you. And I'm not talking about just the gentlemen here, ladies too. Ladies, we need you in this air conditioning field, because you can do just the same thing that a man can do. So all of this is both for men and women, and these certifications should lead you to what you need to kind of prove, yes, I know what I'm doing, and I got my preventative requirements, and I know how to use my instruments, and I'm ready to rock and roll in order to handle your air conditioning unit. What should your training lead? What should your training do? It should be hands-on. A hands-on environment that simulates maintenance issues in the real world. Yes, that stuff is important. Classroom and stuff is important just on paper, yes. And you should get that. But you should also be able to take a little sweat off your brow. You should have hands-on environment to kind of say, okay, this is where this goes. This is how I add this or subtract that. I get it hands-on. If you're not doing hands-on, the instruction is just not enough. You need to actually physically get your hands dirty and see what you need to do. And last but not least, on the Canvas slides here, what should your training do? Practice with instruments. The key word is practice with the instruments used in this trade. You just, as in conjunction with hands-on experience, you should be able to, and I don't know these things. I had to look them up. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Vacuum pumps like that, I have no idea, but that's what a vacuum pump looks like. Charging scales, that's what that looks like. In conjunction with leak detections, and a micron gauge, which is that. I don't know what it's for, but I know these are instruments used in the air conditioning trade, and these are things that you should know how to use if you're becoming a certified air conditioner technician. And now we're gonna go outside before it rains, and I wanna show you my air conditioning unit. Remember, I grew up in New York City, and the air conditioning units are very small. They're usually window air conditioning. You put them in for 2 or 3 months, you take them out and you store them. They're probably maybe 2 feet by 1 foot, I'm thinking. Maybe 3 feet at most. I mean, so they're small, they're window units. These are not, so. Let's go out and I'll show you what I'm talking about. What I'm going to show you, like almost like I would show you a pretty painting. You know, I can't tell you what canvas they use. I can't tell you the kind of paints, the oils or whatever they used, or the brush technique, but I can show you the pretty picture. So that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the pretty picture and why I do need freezing point, which are my air conditioning people who help me when I have issues with my air conditioning unit. All right, I am outside, and so let's check out what the air conditioning unit looks like. So I came out from that sliding door, which is where I was shooting my video, and you come out, and this is the air conditioning unit right here. My guy in Freezing Point, Ralph is his name. He said that Rheem is a good company. I guess I'm not going to dispute him, but I want you to notice how big this is. This is a big unit. And notice also, because of the lake and most of the land here in Florida is swampy. And so you will need this slab. You see here the slab of concrete. That slab of concrete holds up this air conditioning unit. This is about 2 tons. I'm not joking either. So it's about 4,000 pounds. So this, I'm just walking around here. You see that the unit is rather large. And so it sits on that slab of concrete. And right now it's off. It turns on and off, but you notice here the propellers there, and you see it's outdoors. It's completely outdoors. It rains upon. It's cold. It's hot. This is also a heating unit as well. So when those few days that it's hot, that it's cold outside, this turns into a heater. So this is not just an air conditioner. So you can see here, I know that they checked, and like I said, I'm showing you a pretty picture. I don't know how it works. I know that they put in measuring units here, and they check to see if it really is cooling properly. You'll see here that there's definitely things that they use that they check off, and you'll see that it's connected. It's connected this way, right? And again, one more time showing you it's a big unit. And this unit, being honest, it cost me $2,500, $2,500 US. So it's not cheap. And so then they can go as high as I've heard as high as $10,000. So it depends on the size of your house and whatever, but it's definitely necessary. And you'll see that there's a unit, there's a pipe that goes right here, right? Even though there should be something called a P-trap here, the condensation of the water comes out through here. And you see that this is all connected. You see all connected here to the big, you see here the air conditioning unit, right? It goes all the way here. And because I pay somewhat attention there, and it's connected underneath all of this, right? And I'm not going to stop it so you can see, connected all the way through here, and it goes up here. And if you even touch this pipe, where's the pipe? This is the pipe. This pipe is cold. So right here, all this, it goes in there and it goes upstairs. So that is all connected. You see here that is the big old air conditioning unit, and that is what I have checked every 6 months for any issues. So let's then, again, this is why it's really important. You want to be certified to be able to handle this. Oh, it went on. Let me just go here so you can see it. It went on, and you can see the propellers there are going. You hear it? You want to make sure that those propellers are working nicely, working smoothly, and it turns on and off automatically. And like I said, this bad boy is what keeps us cool, and those 3 or 4 nights a year where it keeps us warm. So it's a big unit. It's not a small investment. So I really wanted you to hear it and look at it and see that's the air conditioner humming away. So now, let me, I'm not gonna stop it. I'm just gonna walk so you can see. I showed you where it connects to. And then, let's kind of go upstairs, making sure I didn't step in anything. No, let's go upstairs. And you see, this is very authentic. Trying not to kill myself here. We live in a 2-story little townhome, right? We go up the stairs. Go up the stairs. Do-do-do. And I had already opened this door, so this way you could see. This is a little, it's hidden. Let me show you. This is kind of hidden here, behind here. There's a little thermostat. We usually keep it at somewhere 70. If it's really, really, really hot, we're really like put as low as 71, 70. But usually it's on 73 or 74. Got to save some electricity. Everything is here. You see it lights up, and you can see it cool on, automatic, and that could also change to heating, right? And so this here, again, I'm showing you the pretty picture. This is a unit that's attached out there, goes way out there. And so all of this is connected. How? I do not know. You see Ream, and they open up here. I'm not gonna open because God forbid something happened. And they open, they check out the coils in here, and then they kind of take a look and see, make sure everything is running. They also asked me, you see this pipe right here? Every month, I put in here some Clorox or chlorine to drain out or flush out the system. Why? I do not know, but I'm just telling you that's what I do. They asked me to do that, and I do it. Keeps everything running nicely. I have a filter, air conditioning filter. This filter, I get in the mail once a month. I change it out once a month. It is very durable, and sucks up a lot of the dirt because it'll suck in. Let me see if I can do it. And it sucks in. Oh, if I flip it, I hope you can see it. You see how it sucks in? You hear that air conditioning roaring there? And that shows you. And I have that towel there just in case we get some condensation. And so this is something that you want to have here so it can suck up any dirt, because that's what it is. It's air conditioning. It is conditioning the air. So it keeps it cool. So this is a really, really, really big unit. Costs us $2,500, $2,500. Probably cheap in a good way, thank God. Because I hear they're really running for a lot more money, and I got this a few years back. But this is actually the second unit, because there was a unit here when we bought the place in 2015, and we got it, and we heard that it was not a good system, so we had to replace it. So this is our other second unit, and she is running really well, and that's all I got. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understand if you want to get into air conditioning, what a big deal it is, especially here in the Northeast. I bet in the Southeast, anywhere really. Sometimes you have a small unit, big unit. I think it's so lucrative to get into this trade of air conditioning, HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. I never really thought about doing a playlist on trade schools, but it's really, really important that, hey, if you want to just get in, get out, you don't want to deal with the whole nonsense of parties and oh, I like her, I like him. And you just want to get in and out. Let's get life started. Check out trade schools. Trade schools are pretty cool, man. And I'm especially air conditioning. Air conditioning, I think, is the number one thing here in South Florida that you need. And if you're gonna do anything here, if you live in the South, do air conditioning. This is Louis D. Fresh.